It's been years since a cell phone, popcorn, and a pistol permanently changed the lives of a small family in suburban Tampa, Florida. Chad Oulson loved spending time with his wife, Nicole, and their 22-month-old baby girl, Alexis. Friends and family say Oulson was a genuine, funny, go-getter type of guy. On January 13, 2014, Chad and Nicole Oulson were sitting in a theater waiting for a movie to start. And as the previews were rolling, Chad was on his phone, texting their babysitter to check on baby Alexis. This security video shows the man sitting behind them, Curtis Reeves, objecting to Chad using his phone, and the two start arguing. Then Reeves went to complain to the management. Here's Nicole Oulson recalling Reeves' demeanor that night.
I see you've put your phone away now that I went to get management. I remember feeling this should have been over. He's got what he wanted. Why is he still doing the, haha, you did what I told you, I won? That's kind of how it felt to me.
Witnesses told police that the argument continued when Reeves returned to his seat. In a recorded audio police interview, Nicole describes what happened next.
My husband said, dude, what's your problem? You know, I wasn't making any noise. The movie hasn't even started, and that's all I remember.
Then the argument went from loud to lethal. Reeves, a retired Tampa police captain, claims he feared for his life after Nicole's husband threw a bag of popcorn at him. In his police interview, Reeves said Oulson stood up and hit him in the face with an unknown object. Let's watch that again, slowed down. You can see what looks like Oulson's arm make a very quick motion toward Reeves. Here's how Reeves remembers the incident.
Get out of my face. I'm leaning all the way back in my chair as far as I can to get away from him, and suddenly he's virtually on top of me. And I think I'm saying either no, 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 or whoa, whoa, whoa. Suddenly my head was to the right, so he hit me with something.
And that's when Reeves pulled his pistol from his pocket and fired one shot at Oulson.
I did not see him pull it out, and I did not see him shoot it. I just saw the spark and heard the noise.
43-year-old Chad Oulson was taken to the hospital where he later died. Curtis Reeves was charged with second-degree murder. He says he shot in self-defense. At a hearing in 2017, Reeves' attorney tried to prove that this was a stand-your-ground case. The controversial Florida law allows people to use deadly force when they fear death or personal bodily harm.
A 6'4" individual standing, trying to come over that chair is terrifying.
But the judge ruled that the stand-your-ground defense does not apply in this case.
If I had it to do over again, it would never have happened.
Now, Curtis Reeves is set to go on trial for second-degree murder.
And joining us tonight from Tampa, Florida, Chad Oulson's wife, Nicole, and her attorney, TJ Grimaldi. Thank you both for being here. I know it's not easy, Nicole, but I wanted to start first with Alexis, your daughter. How's she doing?
She's doing awesome. She just turned 9 last week, and she's doing awesome. Yeah, really good.
That's great to hear. What do you tell her about her dad?
She's at the age now where she asks a lot of questions, so I just try to share as much as I can, tell her all the stories and how much he loved her, and she was just his whole world. And I want her to know her dad, and I want, you know, she's like a little mini me. She looks exactly like him. She acts exactly like him, and it's important to me that she knows who her dad was, and you know, that his memory is still alive.
Absolutely. You know, our system of justice, and I'm sure TJ has told you, sometimes moves awfully slowly. This is excruciatingly slow. 2014, and here we are in 2021. How difficult has this legal process been for you?
You know, I would have never imagined 7 years later still not having a trial date set. It's just unbelievable. I totally understand the pandemic. You know, would never want anybody to be unsafe or jeopardized. But that has been a year. There were 6 years prior to this. And it's just, you know, hard to believe that it's been stalled and delayed this long and that justice hasn't been served. But we will get there. I'm confident that we will. And I'm, you know, happy to have the stand your ground behind us. And that was denied, and the appeal for that was denied as well. So we'll get there.
TJ, where do you think we are in terms of this criminal case? You know, I mean, some cases take a while, but this we're now in like year 7. This is extraordinary.
So, to be honest, first of all, I want to thank you for having us on. Secondly, I actually term it as quite disgusting. You know, right before you had us on, you were talking about the George Floyd murder trial, and that's happened just a fraction of a time ago compared to this murder, and he's already going to trial. The police in that matter are already going to trial. This has just been the perfect storm of delays. First of all, the attorney for the defense has attempted to delay the case as much as possible from the outset, trying to take depositions of anyone and anyone that he could possibly think of, including a 8-hour deposition of a nurse that wasn't even on the scene. But when you combine that with the changes of the stand your ground law that occurred during the prosecution of this case, which delayed the case an entire year, as well as the COVID, which has now delayed the case the entire year, it's just beyond all reasonable outcomes at this point. I will tell you that as we stand right now, there is an upcoming status conference next week, but we're not even on the trial docket anymore. It's been completely struck from the trial docket and is just set for status right now.
Unbelievable. You know, oftentimes, you know, people talk about, well, the defendant's waiting for his day in court. Well, there's some defendants who don't want a day in court. I mean, every day they're not in court is a win for them, and I've seen this game played before. Nicole, how often do you think about that day? I mean, I described it as, and was I right that this was like a date night for you two, because you had an opportunity to go out, you got a babysitter for Alexis, and you're just going out just going to watch a movie?
Yeah, you know, I think about it all the time. Maybe not that particular day, but I think about Chad every single day, throughout every day. Something will remind me of him. Something Lexi will do will remind me of him, and it never goes away. And, you know, I don't want his memory to go away, but I don't want to keep reliving the day and the incident and how it happened. And I would like to find a little bit of, you know, justice and peace from the trial. So hopefully that will happen soon, and I can, you know, not just me, but his family can have that peace as well.
You know, you use those words. I think that's so appropriate, justice and peace. Sometimes people who haven't been in your shoes will use the word closure, and I always try to correct them and say there's no closure here. The only thing that can happen is some sense of justice. But I like that you added peace as well. I'm going to start using that, if you don't mind, because I always, you know, I've been fortunate. I haven't been in your position. I've worked as a prosecutor, but I haven't been in your position. How important, Nicole, is it for you to have this trial? You're going to have to testify, right?
I didn't stand your ground, so I would assume so, yes.
So while you're, I'm sure, looking forward to having the trial in the rearview mirror and a sense of justice at the end of the day, what's it going to be like to have to testify and live all of this over again inside a courtroom?
It's hard, it's scary, it's nervous, but to me it's totally worth it because I get to tell the truth and I get to share what really happened in that theater and not what they're claiming and the lies that they've made up. And it's important to me to speak for Chad because he's not here to speak for himself.
Now, as a former prosecutor, TJ, I've been careful to not ask Nicole what she remembers about that day, because my guess is if I did, you would say, well, maybe let's not talk about that right now until afterwards. Am I correct?
You got it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really for the viewers who are like, Vinny, can you ask her what happened that day? She'll have an opportunity at the trial. We don't need another transcript created here on the program. But Nicole, our thoughts are with you. If you could, on behalf of everyone here, closing arguments, give Alexa a big hug for all of us and wish her a happy birthday. And
sure will. Thank you.
We appreciate you both being on the program tonight. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.